So we'd like to start the program with introductions. Please hold your applause until the end. We'll start with the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce staff. Our president and CEO of the Heart of Wisconsin is Stacy Keating. The events and engagement director is Katie Wright. Our marketing and communications director is Promise Bakken. And the executive office assistant is Kristen Halverson. We'd like to welcome an incoming chamber staff member, Laura Bonner Ridgway. Laura will be the workforce and community development director. And we'd like to say thank you to an outgoing chamber staff member, Krista Kuhn, who was the vice president of workforce and community development. Can you give all of our chamber staff You know, an organization such as a chamber cannot thrive without its volunteers, and these volunteers are the heart and soul of the Heart of Wisconsin. We'd like to acknowledge our chamber ambassador group, if they can stand, and we'd like to thank them for all that they do. We'd like to recognize our 2022 Board of Directors. Please stand to be recognized. Our chairperson is Craig Bernstein from Mid-State Technical College. Our vice chair is Patrick Gatterman from USP. Patrick is from USP Small Business Development. Our treasurer is Craig Brogan from Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools. Our government chair is Corey Manstead with Nash Law Group. And our secretary is Janine Malcolm from Mary Kay Cosmetics. The board of directors is Jill Dillon from Marshfield Clinic. Lisa Skipper from Aspirus. Jamie Peters from the town of Rome. Craig Tim from Victor Communications LLC. Matt Edwards from Paper City Savings. And Phil Hartley from Quality Plus Printing. We'd also like to welcome two new incoming board members, Colton Kissinger of Kissinger Insurance. And Lauren Lunenberg with Erco Worldwide. Now we get to introduce our Mission Moment speaker for this evening. It is Dale Davis from Focus Food Pantry. Dale was an engineer for 13 years before coming to Focus Food Pantry. He loved any opportunities he had to volunteer. In his years of engineering, he spent most of those years in Haiti. And one of the things he was passionate about was helping those with the daily struggle for basic things like food. So he looked for a way to volunteer his time there. That way he could serve people in a basic way while helping solve one of their greatest needs. In every aspect of life, wherever he was, he's always enjoyed helping people. Volunteering in many ways and working to improve people's lives was such a pleasure for him. When Dale moved back to our community, he volunteered at the food pantry for a while. And one day the board chair asked if he was interested in working at the pantry. 7 years later, he's still here and making a difference to so many every day. Please welcome Dale Davis from Focus Food.
Katie told me I had to keep it down to 30 minutes. Well, thank you guys for the opportunity to be here and speak with you tonight on behalf of Focus. I want to take you on a really fast-paced walk through the statistics of our community, the programs in our community, and the community itself. There's a report called an Alice report that you can find on United Way website. The ALICE stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employee. These are people who are working full-time or 2 part-time jobs who are not making enough money to keep a roof over their head and food on the tables. And these people are at or below the poverty level as far as established by the federal government. In the state of Wisconsin, out of the 6 million people in the state of Wisconsin and 2.4 million households, about 23% of them, on average, are experiencing poverty at some point level or food insecurities where they're not sure where the next meal will come from. In the city of Wisconsin Rapids, with 8,131 households, the staggering fact is that 46% of them are currently in that status of experiencing food insecurities, twice the limit of what we experienced statewide in the state of Wisconsin. You think that maybe with such a high number that would seem like it would be hopeless. How would you push that all back? How would you push the ocean back with a broom? But, you know, in the history of Wisconsin Rapids, there's 3 departments, there's 3 groups of people that stood up and said we need to do something about this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history on that, and there will be a test afterwards. And if you fail the test, there'll be a $25 exit fee when you leave. If you're making out checks, of course, you can make those out to me. I'm just kidding. You can get to focus and use my treasury sitting right here. Okay. So again, for some people, it seems hopeless when they're trying to pay rent and pay utilities, cover costs of the medical bills they have for their families and keep food on the table. So they struggle back and forth. And there's a lot of things that they go without, a lot of things they sacrifice. And for some of them, even in our schools today, 1 out of 5 children will go at least 1, if not 2 days a week where they won't have dinner when they go to bed. The parents are banking on the fact they're getting good food at the schools, so when they come home at evening, sometimes they just miss out on that. They have something else, nothing more than a small snack. So these 3 programs got started up because of this food insecurity that has been experienced in our community. The first one I want to highlight a little bit on is the Rapids Family Backpack. Now, Rapids Family Backpack started about 10 years ago in the fall of 2013. And what Rapids Family Backpack would do is they would provide food enough for the family to get through the weekend until the children could come back to school and get those nutritious meals that are provided there. They started out small and grew up to about 85 families, and it was going really strong. Another program that was in the community is called the Neighborhood Table. The Neighborhood Table started about 19 years ago in December of 2003, and they would provide hot meals for people in the community. And in doing so, they provided not only a hot meal for some of those people who don't have the ability to cook, or have the time to cook, or had physically disabled and unable to provide themselves with hot meals. They would come in and have a great atmosphere. There'd be camaraderie. They'd have a social environment. And for some of these people, the hot meal and the social environment was the highlight of their week. When we were working with them a couple years back, I could remember people walking in, and it was like the only time of the week they went out was when it came to the meals that they put at the table. It meant a lot to them. And pretty soon you get to know everybody in the group, and you start sitting at different tables, and you start talking to different people, and you start finding out some amazing people in this community and the things that they've done. And so that was where Neighborhood Table started. Then way back in 1975, I know that's before half of you were born, well after some of you were born, there's a group called SWEP started a food pantry. I started a little tiny 10 by 14 closet in the church, and up until 7 years ago, it stayed in that church basement until it was moved into the old Reynolds Hardware building, and that's when we started growing the program. And 7 years later, now we just moved into a new facility. Sparhawk Trucking bought the Oakers Market building and gave us a 10-year lease, and we have part of that building that we're working in. And they have been a tremendous partner in working with us. And every time I go to talk to Mark, I say, well, I was thinking about you. Go ahead. Like, you know what I'm talking about yet. He was always just like, go for it, do it. Whatever you got to do to make this program run. And Mark has been a tremendous asset in helping us not only get a bigger place, a cleaner place, better lit, but giving us room that we can actually grow our programs. And so, you notice I'm talking about a lot of the programs, these 3 programs in the past tense, because there no longer is a Rapids Family Backpack, there no longer is the Neighborhood Table, and there no longer is a SWEP Food Pantry. Because 3 years ago, we merged. We had done a feasibility study just to see if the idea of co-locating all 3 programs together was a good idea. An outside group came in and did a study for us, because we thought there was such a strong collaborative work between us, and we were sharing volunteers, we were sharing resources. Why not put it all in one location and make it easier for all our clients? Well, they came back and they said, well, their recommendation was that we did not just simply co-locate, but that we actually merge. So the three boards got together and they went through the process of merging. So now all three of those programs now have a new name. We are now Focus, Feeding Our Communities with United Services. And Focus now has the Focus Food Pantry, which used to be SWAPS, has the Focus Community Meal, or Neighborhood Meal, which used to be the Neighborhood Table, and the Focus Family Backpack, which used to be Rapid Family Backpack. And in 2022, collectively, these programs went through, we had 1,600 people being served by the Neighborhood Meal. We had 2,800 people served at the Rapid Family Backpack, with meals on the weekends. And we had over 18,133 people served through the pantry. You put all that together with the 1,500 people we were able to serve at the mobile food pantry, that's over 24,000 people were impacted by these programs in the year of 2022 alone. And you go back even one more year, and we had more mobile food pantries that we had done that year. Dale ran like 16 one year and 24 the other year. And combined in 2021, we put out over 1 million meals in this community. And you think about it, that's and if you think that's a monumental task, it can be. But the thing is, because of this community, that task was not only easily accomplished, but it was a joy to accomplish. You go through and look at what else is being accomplished in our community. We have a truck that runs all over the place, does pickups every morning, and goes all over. It goes to Dells, Marshfield, Wausau, Appleton, Waupaca. It goes all over the place picking up foods and bringing them back and forth. Our truck also hauls food for other pantries, like we're McCain's picking up. We'll drop things off in other pantries as well. We'll bring them back to our pantry, and there's smaller pantries come to our pantry to pick those things up. So in the last couple of years, our little truck, putting on over 40,000 miles, has hauled 4.3 million pounds of food back to our pantry and help get out into the communities. And impact 21 other programs in 5 counties. So you think about, wow, that's a lot of work being done too. Everything I'm telling you today is all being done by volunteers. Every aspect. That's the power of our community. You go through and you think about the classes that we're having. I used to teach them all. Then we developed a curriculum, and pretty soon DW Extension came in and said, can we help you teach the classes? And I was not stupid enough to say no. So they came in. Now we have a very strong relationship with them, and we're doing classes 3 weeks out of the month. And we're doing finance, we're doing horticulture, and we're also doing nutrition. We're doing family cooking classes that we have people bringing in with their kids, and they sit there and they learn how to cook as a family and learn how to, the nutritional value of what they're putting on the tables. We have classes teaching people how to take the produce off our tables that's been provided and mixing it with all the dry goods that we have to make the food more nutritious. We're teaching them how to do garden buckets, where they grow an entire meal in a 5-gallon bucket. Then we actually harvest that bucket, and we show them how to make the meal, and we consume it together, and then they go home, and a few weeks later they harvest their own. With our hydroponics program, we're also growing our own lettuce. We now, because of grants, have 4 units operating full-time, and we harvest one hydroponic unit every single week. And when we harvest that, we get 80 families get fresh lettuce out of that every single week. So all month long, we're having our families getting fresh produce. We've also taught them how to use natural herbs and spices. We have a 5th hydroponic unit where we grow basil and oregano. We've taught them how to take that basil and oregano and incorporate it into the cooking so they have a better flavor without using the salt or the additives they get from some of the generic type of seasons that they could afford. And so they're healthier even and taste better even with the food that they're making. Some of our clients come through, and one fall we went through and we said, we're going to teach you how to make spaghetti. And we sat down and they were eating spaghetti while we were talking, and then we got talking about the nutritional value of different products, and we said, well, here, this is called a spaghetti squash. They're like, we don't do spaghetti squash. And I said, oh, really? Because you just ate 5 pounds. Don't tell them you don't do spaghetti squash. Because I never knew that you take that and you can actually fork it out, make your own noodles, and boil it down and have spaghetti. And it tastes the same. It honestly does. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you don't believe me, come in the fall. You can help us make spaghetti at the neighborhood meal, and we can serve it out. I'll love a spaghetti squash. We won't tell anybody. We'll let them do these regular noodles. But it actually is really nutritious for them, too. Another thing we've gone through and taught them how to do is to think about their finances as a whole. Because sometimes they go through and whatever they have, they take the biggest concern at that moment and they spend their finances, and pretty soon they have nothing left. Now it's getting towards the end of the month, and they don't know how they're going to pay for rent. They're worried about their electric bill, or how am I going to get food on the table next week. And so families go through and make sacrifices. They may have a car, but they can't afford to put gas in it to do anything. So they're walking where they're going. or they may not even have a car, and they're depending on other people to help them, so they have a transportation barrier. So we have our classes before we open for the pantry. So they'll come at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday and have an hour of classes where they're learning all these good things that they need to learn. And from there, they step right into the pantry, get their food and go home, so they can do it all in one trip. That's the power and ability of having us all in one location. We have people coming in on a Thursday, and they'll get their meal, put it in the, or their food, they'll put it in the car, and they'll stay and eat the meal. And we've had some really great meals lately, if you want to join us. A couple of weeks ago, we had Salisbury steaks. The week before that, it was lasagna. I know you're not hungry. I probably shouldn't be telling you. I should wait. I should have told you when you're hungry what all you had. Well, we have a bunch of meal coordinators and some cooks and chefs that they put together some good meals. I tell you, you don't walk away from that table without having some groceries in your tummy. It's a really good meal. And it's a social environment as well. So come on and join them. Our classes are not only, we used to only have 14 people in our classes. I told them, okay, next week we're having this class, or in 2 weeks we're having this class. And I have the opportunity for 14 people to sit in our little tiny waiting area for a class of 85 people to sign up. I'm like, oh, who do you pick? You know, now, because our dining room's right next door, we can have our classes in there and there's no limit. And so the last couple of classes that we've had, it's been really neat because I walked in there and I can see 16 clients from the pantry and 21 people from the community all sitting together elbow, learning about nutrition, learning about the value of produce, learning about the upcoming farmers market, which you can glean from there, and the cost you get from there. So it's a learning environment for the entire community. And it's all being done by people from the community. When we think about the impact we have on people when they're in their darkest hours, we had one gal come in and she was just nasty. I mean, not totally vile, but as close as you could get without being, obnoxious. And she was nasty to everybody, and she came up on me, and we were taking care of her, and I told her as well, I said, I was showing her what she could do by the produce table, and she walked away with a little bit of a gruff. I thought, wow. We have no idea what burdens they carry when they walk through that door. So you gotta treat everybody with kindness and respect. We always have, and we always will. The next time she come back, she come in and she's all gruff and everything. And I walked up and I said, hey, miss, I said, I have something for you. Said, oh, okay. And I gave her a big hug and I said, thank you for giving me the privilege of serving you today. She said, well, you should be thankful. The next month when she came back, she showed me pictures of her grandkids, of her 2 dogs. More pictures of the dogs than the grandkids, I don't know why. But she had a smile on her face. She said, I just lost her husband, which we didn't know. He came in after finding out she had cancer and was just needing some food to get by until she passes. And, well, that was 2 years ago. She's still kicking around. She's an ornery old girl, let me tell you one thing. She had a steam going on her, you want to get out of her way, but she comes in and she's telling everybody, where they can go, showing them where they can sit down, showing them where to get the paperwork. And if you get out of hand, she'll bump you on the head just as quick as she can and tell you to pipe down. And she's just a lovely little old lady, and she's just great. She starts bringing her mom, and her mom's 34 or 94 years old. Okay, some of you are nodding your head. You understand that part. Well, this little 94-year-old gal, she's really short. She comes in all dressed to the nines, and I swear she puts on about 3 pounds of lipstick before she comes in. She always comes out and gives me a big kiss on my cheek and tells everybody she's my girlfriend. Now that I'm explaining to my wife, I do not have a girlfriend. But it's the only time in the month she comes out of the house is when she comes to the pantry because she feels like it's home. That's the power of community. That's people meeting other people's needs at a place they need to be. So when you think about what's going on over at Focus, whether it's the meals they're getting, or the backpacks that's going home with these kids on the weekend, or the people who come to the front door to get food from the pantry, all that happens because of people like you. People send in financial support, which we need a lot of, and ask my treasurer, he can tell you that in detail. We have people who bring in these, even just one bag of groceries, or a carload of groceries, and we put those on the shelves. We try to bring things out of Feeding America. We're a satellite hub for Feeding America, where it drops like people, the semis come in and we offload those 18, 20 pallets, and an hour and a half later, it's distributed between 29 other pantries who come to our place to pick up. We have semis, 240 trucking firms we work with. And when they get a pallet that's rejected, they bring them to us. So they call me up and say, I'm in Eau Claire, what can I do? I said, you need to talk to Tim, here's your phone number. I'm over in La Crosse, what do I gotta do? Here's George, here's his phone number. And last year, those trucking firms, wanting to salvage that food so it didn't get wasted, salvaged 293 pallets of product at about 1,400 pounds a piece in the pantries, 629 pantries all across the state of Wisconsin. So there's good people in good communities that are doing a good work for those who need it. And in this space here, I look around, I see a lot of good people, and I see one or two that, I'm not sure about them, but I see a lot of good people out there. And they're doing a great job, and you never know it. You know, they come over and they're volunteer their time, they'll give their resources, they'll give their finances, and that all makes it all happen. Focus could not happen without the community. Community isn't necessarily the place you live, it's where you exist, it's where you experience life. And our clients, going through the darkest time of their lives, experience a better life because of people like you getting involved and sharing the resources we have in the community with those who have a greater need. If you have any questions about Focus, what we do, and if you'd like a tour of our brand new facility, eventually we're going to be having an open house. Give us a call, and we'll gladly talk to you. We'll arrange a time you can come in and see what we're doing, and opportunities you have to give of your time, whether it's serving a meal, or whether it's serving out the food to the people in the pantry, or packing up backpacks so those kids can take them over on the weekends. Thank you for getting involved. Thank you for the resources you've provided to us so that we could be a resource to those who have a need. And thank you for those who are out there making sure that our name is out there so people understand that when they have a need, there's a resource available. And we gladly take them in. We gladly serve them one at a time. And every time they come back, we've developed some pretty good friendships. I had one little girl come in. Well, I call her little girl. They're all young and small to me. She was only 18, and she had a brand new baby. And so I held her baby while she's out shopping, and I had to give her back, in case somebody was wondering. So I held her baby while she was shopping, and every time she came in, she'd give me her little baby. Well, she's like 4 years old now. She comes in, she climbs up on my back like a backpack. Like, where's Angie? I'm looking, Angie's on my back. Mom's out shopping. And I go up doing everything I got to do in the pantry, screening more people, starting more carts, and off we go. And little Angie's on my back, giggling away. And her mom just gets that little bit of respite while she's out there shopping for food. And it's been neat because the first time she walked in, I said, you know what that is? She went, oh, no, what is that? I said, it's called eggplant. She goes, I said, so I taught her how to make eggplant farming. And she came back a month later, and she's like, is there any more eggplant? And now she's learned how to make baby food for her little Angie, and she takes those produce and she incorporates those. So there's so many opportunities and so many ways that you can get involved, and there's a lot of good things going on in the community that I'm not going to take up any more time. Or something. But give us a call, and we'll let you know how you can get involved in so many different ways in our community, and we appreciate the time you've given us. Thank you.
Good job, Dale. That's great information. The Heart of Wisconsin area is blessed to have individuals and businesses that are dedicated to ensuring we live in a thriving and prosperous community. We're honored to recognize a number of those individuals, organizations, and businesses tonight. And we're going to start with the Professional Growth Award, which is sponsored by Renaissance. The Professional Growth Award is given to an individual who shows community service and leadership while demonstrating outstanding volunteer spirits, all while making a significant impact in our community. Congratulations to this year's winner, Colton Kissinger from Kissinger Insurance. Colton was born and raised in Vesper. Having previously worked at a cranberry marsh, he went on to a completely different career route as he saw the values of working hard on helping the community. So he started Kissinger Insurance in 2021 and recently had a ribbon cutting in January of 2022 at his new office on 12th Street. His goal is to find people the policies and plans that fit the family's needs and budget. Colton is married to Jackie Kissinger, and they have 3 children, and recently just welcomed their 3rd child, Jeffrey Charles Kyson, on February 9th. Back in January of 2022, Colton decided to become the host family coordinator with the Rafters. The host family coordinator responsibilities act as a middle ground between the Rafters front office and host families for basic needs and questions. They look for final beds for 35 players and 12 interns. They assist the GM with placement of players and interns with the families. And they also place players with host families as the roster changes mid-season. Congratulations, Colton, on the Professional Growth Award. Please come up and accept it.
recognized by your business or colleagues, but it's another to be recognized by your community. First, I just want to give a big thank you to the Chamber employees, present and current. My friends, my family, best friends out there, Spencer somewhere. Then my wife for taking care of our 4 kids, Will, Brayna, Jeffrey, and myself. But in the insurance world, there's a lot of roller coasters emotionally. She knows when to pick me up and when to, bring me down from the sky as well. But this one's dedicated to my dad. I lost him this last December, and he always taught me to take care of your family and also take care of your neighbors and community. So winning this tonight really tells me that I'm on the right path. So thank you.
Now to introduce the Chamber Champion Award, please welcome to the stage the Chair of the Ambassadors, Kim Grover.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. It is my honor and pleasure to give this award out. The Chamber Champion Award is sponsored by Crockett Septic, LLC. What is the definition of a champion? A champion is a defender, one who does battle for another's honor or rights, one who shows superiority, a winner of first place. This year's Chamber Champion is a person that absolutely personifies exactly what that definition of a champion is. They've given of themselves tirelessly to help propel businesses and residents of our local communities forward in a very positive manner. They've always been the first in line to volunteer. This year's Chamber Champion is Heather Sayers. Throughout Heather's career, she has always been in positions that have supported community and local business, whether that's working at the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce, Wisconsin Rapids City Times, stations WFHR, WIRI, or the city of Nakusa. Local has always been Heather's passion. Heather and her husband Gary have been married for 16 years and together have a family of fabulous 5 children. They recently added a new grandson, and family truly means the world to Heather. One of the favorite family events is for them to go to the Elroy Sparta Bike Trail. And that family tradition actually dates back to 1977 when her grandparents organized the first excursion. In her spare time, Heather heads the Nakusa Pumpkin Fest Committee and is working diligently to start a nonprofit organization that will benefit multiple Nakusa happenings. Please welcome this year's Chamber Champion, Heather Sayers.
Wow, thank you. Honestly, this was extremely big surprise. I love everything there is about this community, about Wisconsin Rapids, about Nakusa, Port Edwards. I don't know what to say. Thank you, especially to my husband who always tells me to go out and have fun. Every time I say, is it okay if I go and volunteer for this? Have a good time. My boss is here. Rick, thank you so much for letting me be a part of the chamber and letting me leave work at odd hours of the day and then come back. I just really appreciate your support. And all of my best friends at the Ambassadors, I could not have gone this far without all of you. So, thank you.
Next up is our Community Spirit Award. It's sponsored by Marshfield Clinic Rapid Center. The Community Spirit Award is given to groups or individuals who demonstrate outstanding volunteer spirit and make a significant impact in our community. This year's Community Spirit Award winner is Warm the Heart. Warm the Heart of Wisconsin Rapids is Tri-City Services' way of giving back to the community that they've been a part of since 1945. They were thinking of ways to give back to our community and really kept coming back to doing what Tri-Cities does best. Install furnaces and air conditioning, of course, but in Wisconsin, we have to worry about a reliable heat source first. They have been able to pool the generosity of their vendors, their customers, their employees, and big-hearted community members into this amazing gift to help neighbors in need. Potential recipients apply themselves or can be nominated. The recipient will be selected by the Warm the Hearts of Wisconsin Rapids Selection Committee and must meet certain criteria, including they must be 21 years of age or more, must be resident homeowners of Wisconsin Rapids, Nakusa, Port Edwards, Vesper, Rudolph, or Buren. They must own and reside in the home that will receive the prize furnace, and the home must have ductwork and cannot change from a boiler to a gas forced air with the new equipment. And the winner must show a need-based standing based on income or the financial situation of the entrant. The Warm the Hearts Committee prioritizes the applications, they verify the need, and then the information listed on the application. Then they work with other local community partners, such as Mid-State Technical College, to come in and install the brand new furnace. This year's award goes to Warm the Hearts. Please come up and accept your award.
Thank you. This all started back in 2019, something that I've wanted to do for a really, really long time. And if you recall, that was the year that the really big storm came through, and you may remember that the Solaris employee, Brian Ortner, was hurt and paralyzed. We were called to their house because as he was out getting his therapy and stuff in Colorado, the furnace went out. So we went there, discovered that they needed a furnace, and I knew right then and there that was the time that we needed to start Warm the Hearts. So they were actually the very first recipient of our Warm the Hearts. We've since helped Melissa Brock, single mom, and helped her finish remodeling her house basically, and she's actually a Warm the Hearts committee member as well. And a couple other families, one family that has an autistic son, that obviously that comes with challenges, so we helped them get a new furnace. Another family that has a couple other kids that had problems, health problems, get them a new furnace, and it just helps relieve some of the stress of providing a warm home for your family. This last year, we were able to help two families. One was a woman that her husband had cancer. Their furnace couldn't run, it was unsafe to operate, so we put a new furnace in for them. And the one that we finished most recently was for Cody and Ashley Brolowski. Ron and Elaine Herman are back there, and they were pretty instrumental in helping make that happen this year. So thank you for your help in that. And to our Warm the Hearts Committee, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to miss somebody on the committee, so thank you. And thank you. So hopefully this ripple keeps going and we can keep helping families in town, because that's really near and dear to our hearts as well. So thank you.
Very good. This year's Shining Star Award is sponsored by the Encourage Community Foundation, Incorporated. And the Shining Star is given to an organization that has shown dedication to community service and leadership, along with innovative programs and services to adapt to the changing community needs. The Buckley Baldwin VFW Post 2534 is tonight's well-deserved winner of the Shining Star Award. The Buckley Baldwin VFW Post 2534 marks its 90 years of service. On May 19, 1932, 39 members were initiated into Wisconsin Rapids' first Veterans Foreign Wars organization. John Buckley was born on April 30th, 1893 in Milwaukee. John was an aerial corpsman in the Army, but unfortunately lost his life in an airplane crash at a battlefield in France. Victor Baldwin was the son of past commander Louis Baldwin and was one of the first men of service in World War II to become a member of the post. Victor Baldwin was killed in action during World War II in November of 1944. In 1946, the organization adopted the Buckley-Baldwin name in recognition of John Buckley and Victor Baldwin. In 1996, the Post received a military tank for static display at their Redden Road home when the Army deeded the 55-ton M60A3 tank as a gift. The VFW Post 2534 has been a valuable part of the Wisconsin Rapids community for over 90 years. During this long and storied time, the VFW Post has been an active part of the community, supporting not only the veterans of the greater Wisconsin Rapids area, but also their families, other civic organizations, the first responder community, the public and parochial school districts, as well as the community at large. The Buckley-Baldwin VFW Post 2534 Honor Guard team regularly participates in flag presentations at public events and school sporting events, such as the Swing Against Cancer Golf Scramble, the Cranberry Blossom Festival Parade, the Downtown Grand Affair, the Rekindle the Spirit Parade, the Nakusa Hometown Christmas Parade, the WIAA State Cross Country Meet held annually here at the Ridges, the Cranberry Classic Basketball Tournament held at Assumption High School, Veterans Appreciation Football Game nights held at Lincoln High School and Nakusa High School, as well as other events throughout the year. They also serve with pride when called upon by local funeral homes, as well as grieving families to perform military funeral rites and final tributes to fallen military service members throughout the greater Wisconsin Rapids area. In 2022 alone, the Honor Guard took part in the final tributes to 44 deceased veterans. This year's Shining Star Award goes to Buckley-Baldwin VFW Post 2534. Please come up and accept your award. Sean was nominated.
Yeah, they kind of pulled rank on me and said, "You're the highest, go talk." On behalf of the officers and membership of Buckley-Baldwin VFW Post 2534, we'd like to thank you for the award. Service is part of the reason we got into the military, and once we got out, our wish to serve the community has never stopped. As the years have gone by, we've increased our outreach into the community with flag presentations and high school games and business openings, flag dedications, and all of that. And we're just happy to be here and happy to serve the community, and thank you again very much.
When we were welcoming people, Scott pointed out to me that we should welcome Miss Wisconsin Rapids is with us tonight, Maria Hartley. I see your beautiful crown shining. Thank you for all you do representing the greater Wisconsin Rapids area. Now it's time for the Homegrown Service Award, which is sponsored by Wood Trust Bank. It recognizes a business that's dedicated to customers, community service, and leadership. This year's winner is Bee's Tap House, 2 doors down. They're nothing short of dedicated to customers, community service, and leadership. The Tap House in Wisconsin Rapids recently expanded and opened its own brewery called 2 Doors Down Brewing Company. Corey and Brandon Abbott opened Bee's Tap House February 15th, 2019, as a place where customers can come to relax with some craft beer, wine, live music, board games, and conversation. It's a great vibe. A year later, Bee's Tap House opened a brewery and serves many of its own beers. Brandon thinks the tap house has been successful because it's not the typical bar scene, and the establishment itself isn't a bar. There's no liquor. The expansion happened a lot faster than he and his wife originally pictured when they opened the tap house, saying what was in their 5-year plan began falling into place toward the end of 2019. Once the brewery started running, they were able to add seating to Bee's Tap House and open a space to connect the tap house to the brewery behind the stairwell. They've added amazing pizzas and huge pretzels to a food menu and started in 2023 being open on Sundays per request from customers. And on January 9th, they got their new 3.5 BBL brewing system up and running. Brandon is also a full-time police officer in the Port Edwards Police Department. Corey works for Verso along with raising 4 children. They've housed many Wisconsin Rapids Raptors, and Brandon was a long-standing Wood County Rescue member. They started a Honor Flight Music Fest a few years ago to raise funds to fill a plane of vets to send to Washington to see the memorials. They truly deserve an award for all they do, so here it is. This year's Homegrown Service Award goes to Bee's Tap House, 2 doors down. Please come up.
Believe it or not, if you know me, I'm not one that is short of words, but speaking in front of people like this, it's kind of nervous. I just want to thank the community, not just Wisconsin Rapids, but Wisconsin Rapids, Stevens Point, Marshfield, Rome. When we opened this place, it was actually an idea that my brother-in-law and I came up with in my garage bar at home. That's where I get all my great ideas. She'll disagree, but we'll just leave it at that. Our goal right now is to create a great atmosphere for everyone, good craft beer. And if, in case anyone is wondering, when Mark said a 3.5 BBL, that means a barrel. So we went from a 1-barrel system to a 3.5-barrel system. Eric and Elizabeth Malott moved to this area a while ago. She's a baby doctor. That's what I call her, is a baby doctor. But she allows Eric to come and make beer for us. And if it weren't for Eric, we wouldn't have the place right now. So we were able to upgrade to a 4-barrel system. We are now doing some distribution. Our main goal right now, though, for fundraising, and that's kind of the whole point of this, is yes, we have a business, but I want to send over 100 vets to Washington, D.C. on a plane. Last couple of years kind of was fuzzy with the way the world was, but we're on a good path to continue our concert event, which is at Grand Rapids Lions Club, June 2nd and 3rd. We've changed it to a 2-day event, and we have 3 great bands that are coming in. We also have a event downtown, the street dance we're going to do this year, and our goal is to raise $70,000. That's my goal. That's all I want to do, so we can send all those vets there. I got a phone call 2 weeks ago, and I get to go on the flight in May as they call it special ops, but basically an extra staff member. So I got the call from James Campbell. I get to go in May, and so I'm super excited about that. But enough about me. This is about the vets. So if you guys can come out and support us, we want to raise enough money to fill that plane. And other than that, we were both born and raised here, and we stayed here for a reason, because this area is what it is, and we didn't want to leave this area. We want to raise our 4 kids and, you know, be successful. So we appreciate it, and thank you for the award. It was I was thrown off a little bit when I was told that we had to come here tonight, because we don't typically come to these things. So it's a good welcome, though. So thank you again.
But now you are obligated to come back every year.
That's fine.
Now it's time for the Entrepreneur Small Business of the Year. This award recognizes a business that has initiated economic growth, community service, and leadership. Innovative efforts used to adapt to marketplace change. Starting a business takes passion and dedication. The Entrepreneur Small Business of the Year is sponsored by UW Stevens Point Marshfield and is awarded to Event City Design. Event City Design was started in 2015. Initially, laser engraving was going to be an addition to Kim's graphic design business that focused on creating personalized wedding invitations and other special occasion printed products. 90+% of the sales are made online through their Etsy shop, and they are now in the top 0.1% of shops in their category. And it's really cool, and you gotta check it out. Mark and Kim wanted their 4 kids to grow up in a small community that they could truly be a part of, so they moved to Pittsville in the fall of 2017. Since then, they've become active members of the Pittsville Business Group and the Pittsville Lions Club. Mike also serves on the Pittsville Planning Commission, Pittsville Community Development Authority, and many other things for the community. Last year, Event City added an ice cream shop to their business. The drive-in at Dexterville had to reopen since the start of the pandemic, and creating a family-friendly gathering space in the heart of downtown seemed worth doing. They feature their own ice cream and created over 100 different recipes in their first year. This year's Entrepreneur Small Business of the Year goes to Event City Design. Please come up and accept your award.
Thank you, Angel Whitehead, for nominating us. It was just kind of a surprise where I actually, over in Pittsville, which I haven't heard mentioned yet tonight, yeah, when we were looking for somewhere to move 5-6 years ago, we really lucked out finding a small community that was so welcoming. So I'm glad we've managed to fit in with the rest of the broader community, the rest of Wood County, and just really thankful to be where we are now.
The award for Innovative Business of the Year is sponsored by Wisconsin River Orthopedics. The recipient of this award is a business that is committed to new product or service development, invested in new processes, and creates a culture of innovation. The award for Innovative Business of the Year is awarded to Out of the Box Coffee House, LLC. Their new cafe lets people enjoy coffee, breakfast, and lunch inside a shipping container. Teresa Cashman used a 40-foot shipping container as part of the design for the space, including standing one on its end for the entrance. Out of the Box has indoor seating as well as curbside pickup and drive-through service. Teresa had been managing another coffee shop for more than a decade and wanted to do something for herself and the community. She saw an opportunity for a cafe with local and homemade baked goods, sandwiches, soups, and other breakfast and lunch options. Cashman said she also plans to have an online ordering app available for people to place their orders ahead of time. They used an innovative concept and then built on top of the building outside seating, which is not very common in the community. They host different things in the community up there. Goat yoga is one example. They are great at giving back to our community in various aspects. Congratulations to Out of the Box on the Innovative Business of the Year Award. Please come up and accept it.
So now I gotta come to this one, make sure I hang that up on a prominent location.
Public speaking is not my thing, but I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me, and we have a wonderful community, so thank you.
We never run out of pistachio muffins, Teresa, right? Now it's time for the Regional Economic Impact Award. That's sponsored by ERCO Worldwide. The recipient of this award must show significant regional growth and expansion of their business or organization, and demonstrate community service and leadership, and use innovative efforts to adapt to marketplace change. Heartland Farms, Inc., the 2002 Regional Impact of the Year Award winner. Heartland Farms is a fifth-generation potato and vegetable farm with its main headquarters in Hancock, Wisconsin. Heartland Farms has over 27,000 acres in Portage, Adams, Waupaca, and Waushara counties. Over 9,000 of these acres are in potatoes each year. Their team consists of over 120 full-time employees and over 150 employees each year. Heartland is dedicated to sustainability, technology, and best management practices for the long term and in day-to-day operations. Their team members and community are their top priorities. In 2022, Heartland Farms, along with other partners, built Top Tier Ingredients, which is a food-grade potato flake facility at its main location in Hancock, Wisconsin. Top Tier Ingredients partners with local farms to source sustainable raw products. In 2018, the Pavelski family, along with Heartland Farms, started the Farming for the Future Foundation. And their foundation's mission is to educate current and future generations about agricultural innovation and sustainability. The foundation has an education outreach program with lessons and kits that can be used in classrooms, and is in the process of building the Food and Farm Exploration Center in Plover. The Food and Farm Exploration Center is expected to open in the late summer of 2023. Congratulations to Heartland Farms Incorporated. And Angel's going to come up and accept their award.
Hi everyone. Obviously I'm not Heartland Farms, but if they were able to attend, I would tell you that they are super excited for this award, and some of the things that they are super passionate about is farming and getting kids engaged with the agriculture industry. So as the center begins to be finalized and building in Plover, please stay tuned and join us when they do their ribbon cutting. Thank you.
It's time for our Business of the Year Award. That is sponsored by the Wisconsin Rapids Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. And this award goes for economic impact on the community, business growth, dedication to customer service, community service and leadership, and innovations to adapt to marketplace change. This year's recipient of the Business of the Year Award goes to Herman Taylor Funeral Home. Justin and Roxanne Herman are pleased to have purchased the former Taylor, Ballard, and Jennings Funeral Home on February 1st, 2012. Justin is the son of Ronald and Elaine Herman. His family has called the Wisconsin Rapids area home for over 5 generations. Justin was born and raised in Wisconsin Rapids. He graduated from Lincoln High School and Worsham College of Mortuary Science in Wheeling, Illinois. Justin has served the Wisconsin Rapids area as a licensed funeral director for over 16 years. He's a certified funeral service practitioner by the Academy of Professional Funeral Service Practice. He's the past president of the Wisconsin Valley Funeral Directors Association and served on the Wisconsin Funeral Directors Association Board of Directors, having been elected by his peers to represent the Wisconsin Valley District at the state level. Justin is an active member of the Wisconsin Rapids community and has served in leadership roles with many area service organizations. Roxanne was born and raised in Fifield, Wisconsin. She graduated from Park Falls High School and moved to Wisconsin Rapids in 1996 and is proud to call Wisconsin Rapids her home now. Roxanne earned a degree in mortuary science from DMACC in Iowa in 2015. She's been with the funeral home since 2012. Roxanne earned an associate degree in both nursing and paramedic medicine from Mid-State Technical College in Wisconsin Rapids. Prior to joining the funeral home staff, she worked as an operating room nurse for several years. Roxanne proudly served in the Wisconsin Army National Guard for 6 years as a military police officer. Roxanne is a member of the Elmer Blunion American Legion Post 485 in Rudolph and served as the past adjutant for American Legion Post 9 in Wisconsin Rapids. Their commitment to growth and community truly embodies the spirit of business. Congratulations to Herman Taylor Funeral Home. Please come up and accept your award.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks to the Wisconsin Rapids Convention and Visitors Bureau for sponsoring the award. And thank you to you, our community, who are so privileged to serve, for honoring us with this award this evening. This is not, though, however, the Entrepreneur of the Year Award or Small Business Owner of the Year Award. So to celebrate tonight, it takes a lot of great, dedicated people to run a business like a funeral home. We're not a 9-to-5 operation, as you know. So I have a very dedicated staff behind us that goes above and beyond to do the best they can for the families that we're so privileged to serve. We're not always perfect, but I can guarantee you that we do the best possible job that we can for each and every family that calls on us. So tonight, we have invited all of them to come. So if they would please stand up, because this is as much about them as it is about us. Staff, stand up, and we'll give them a round of applause.
And I just wanted to give them a special thank you and say you're not staff to me, you're truly family.
It is already time for Citizen of the Year, which is sponsored by Bug Tussle Wireless. And it recognizes someone whose work, community service, and involvement demonstrate what it means to be a good citizen. This year's Citizen of the Year award goes to Dr. Ron Kirschling. One reason Ron is a great recipient for this recognition is that as a medical oncologist, he's been an inspiring leader in our community. He's been head medical oncologist at Wisconsin Rapids Aspirus Hospital. After the Air Force Academy, Dr. Kirschling attended Marquette University and later went on to spend time at the Mayo Clinic. In 1999, he was awarded Physician of the Year, naming him the top physician in Duluth, Minnesota, where he lived from 1992 until 2006. Furthermore, he recently achieved his master's in servant leadership from the University of Viterbo. He also actively sits on the Assumption Catholic Schools Board of Directors, the school he was awarded valedictorian of when he graduated in 1971. Many years later, Assumption asked him to return to award him their Graduate of the Year, an award he would not accept unless his siblings, Wayne and Jane, also received the award, proving how modest of an individual he's always been. Over the years, Ron has been involved with several different community organizations in Wisconsin Rapids and the neighboring areas, donating his time and resources. These include ODC, Assumption Catholic Schools, the Wisconsin River Papermaking Museum, the Meade Witter Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club, the Alex C. Dove Foundation, Boy Scouts of America, Samoset Council, the Family Center of Wisconsin Rapids, Renaissance Learning Center, Viterbo University, and PBS. Ron has always shown leadership characteristics. Before attending the Air Force Academy in Colorado, he achieved the highest honor in the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scout. After the Air Force Academy, he was an active Air Force officer for his full 20 years, committing to move his family wherever the military sent him. Following that commitment, he served in the 148th Air National Guard in Duluth, Minnesota for 12 years. Congratulations, Ron Kirschling, on being the Citizen of the Year.
The person I'd really like to thank is Mark, because he didn't mention my golfing product. That goes back a bit. Well, I very much thank the Chamber for this. I wouldn't be up here if I didn't have a very patient and independent family, and I'm lucky tonight to have my wife Barb here. We've been married 47 years, and my two oldest children, Greg and Megan, surprised me and drove up from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Many of you may know my youngest son, Michael, who I think got me into this predicament. And I also have a young daughter, Gretchen, who is stationed with her husband, who is an Army major in Fort Campbell, and currently on deployment to Eastern Europe. In thinking about the Chamber, I have to think about my parents, and I am so glad they selected me. I think they embodied what the Chamber embodies. My father, Melvin, was the longest employee of Consolidated. He worked there 60 years. And my mother symbolized service, both to the church and to scouting. And I know that where I was able to go with my life is so much dependent on the example that they gave me. I grew up in Wisconsin Rapids. When I graduated from Assumption and went to the Air Force Academy, I never thought that I would be back in the community. I was away for 30 years and was fortunate enough to come back, and it's been a real honor to serve this community in the Cancer Center. And I would like to accept this award really on behalf of the Cancer Center, but also on behalf of all healthcare providers. It really is an honor to be up here and have the Chamber recognize how hardworking our healthcare providers in this community have been, particularly during this difficult last 2 to 3 years. So thank you very much for the award.
And to introduce our final award of the evening, Ambassador of the Year, please welcome to the stage the Chair of the Ambassadors, Kim Grover.
Ambassador of the Year. This year's Ambassador of the Year award is sponsored by Quality Plus Printing Incorporated. The Heart of Wisconsin Ambassador Group serves as an avenue for Chamber membership growth, the retention, and also business engagement. This award is voted on by our Ambassador Group, and this year's recipient is a shining example of the true dedication and commitment to the Chamber. Our 2022 Ambassador of the Year award goes to Sean Plant. Sean enlisted in the Army National Guard October 28th of 1994 and went into active duty on October 28th of 1998. His first duty station was in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, from October of 1998 until October of 2011. He was part of the 225th Front Support Battalion and was involved in air assault and culinary training. His second duty station was in Fort Riley, Kansas from October of 2001 until January of 2006. He was part of the 1st Maintenance Battalion as well as part of the culinary team. He had his first deployment from 2003 until 2004 in Iraq. His third duty station was in Fort Richardson, Alaska, from January 2006 until May of 2012, and was part of the 1st Battalion, 40th Cavalry in Air Assault. His second deployment went from 2006 until 2007 in Iraq, and then his third deployment from 2009 until 2010. From there, Sean medically retired on May 28, 2012. He was also a food service specialist from 2003 to 2004, and from 2006 until 2007. He did culinary training in Hawaii and was part of the food culinary team in Fort Riley, Kansas. Sean is a current ambassador with the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce. He goes above and beyond with helping the chamber with random needs, such as putting raffle baskets together for events, raising and lowering the chamber American flag, which is extremely important to Sean. He is at basically every single ribbon cutting event, even hosted an off the clock this last year, and helps with any program and event basically the chamber asks him to do. Sean married Trina Rasmussen on July 31st, 1998, and they have 2 wonderful children, Tacoma and William. They welcomed a grandbaby in 2019, Gideon Sean Plant, born to Tacoma and Bailey. Sean's hobbies include camping, cooking cobbler, fishing, hunting, fly tying, bladesmithing, gaming, and bowling. Congratulations, Sean, on being the 2022 Ambassador of the Year. Please come up and
Okay. Had I known I'd been up here a second time, one of you two would have talked the first time. The VFW became a member of the chamber for the first time back in 2020, I believe. I got elected to go in and help fill out the paperwork and everything for it. And the engagement director at the time was like, "Would you like to be an ambassador? We don't have a veteran on our ambassador group yet." Okay. So that just led to going to these ambassador meetings and then going to the different events, the off the clocks, and helping with the honor guard stuff with the VFW flag dedications and ceremonies and stuff like that. And as my wife says, my service gene kind of kicked my butt. I was in Scouts as a kid, joined the military while I was still in high school, did the National Guard, went active duty, got out, and for the first 2 years I was out, I tried to, enjoy the retired life until my wife finally told me, "Get the heck out of the house before I kill you." I got involved with the VFW at that point, and everything just kind of grew up from there, and it was just, like I said, that service gene that's been ingrained from my father as we were kids, my grandfather, starting with my grandfather, the service to the land, service to everything. And it's just part of who I am. I would love to try to turn it off once in a while and take a break, but I haven't been successful in figuring that one out yet, but eventually at some time I might, so. But thank you all very much. It's just the job I chose to do, so thank you.
At this time, we get to bring back up to the stage the chair, Craig Bernstein.
All right. Wow, what great stories tonight. Hey, let's give the winners all another round of applause. I mean, you can just tell this community has got some great service leaders here. Has it really been 12 months since I was last up here? It's hard to believe. I mean, I was thrust into the role here as the chair. Immediately had to deal with that great butter debacle. Board members. And no, we got past that. And when I took over the chair role, Angel told me she wasn't going anywhere. Angel, you lied to me. Still a little bitter. But luckily, I had a great team supporting me. Patrick Gatterman, Tori Nanstead, Kyle Kearns. Kyle's here tonight. You guys are all great. Janine, thank you so much. Janine really helped me through the transition. And of course, the second best looking Craig B in the room. Your new chair, Craig Boren, was also helped us select our next president. And Stacy's just been doing a wonderful job. So I just couldn't be prouder of the team that helped us. Thank you, Stacy. So, we're getting close to the end. We're going to wrap this up quick. However, we have to have the official passing of the gavel. So at this time, Craig, if you join me, we will officially pass the gavel to the new chairperson. Craig Boren, not only did we make him the new chair, but we also said, hey, we're going to change this to a 2-year term. So, congratulations, Craig.
So, I just want you to know that I am taking this 100% personally, but I'll explain why that would be, okay? First off, I wasn't 100% certain at what point in the program my opportunity at saying something would transpire, and you guys all see when that's happening. Because everybody's sitting here like, just come on, we want to get the hell out of here. So I'll take this 30 or 40 minutes to ensure that I will enjoy the remainder of the evening. No, but in all seriousness, one of the things that I wanted to mention to you is that I am quite honored to be the next chair of the Chamber Board for all of the reasons that you heard here tonight. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I'm the superintendent for Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools, for those that don't know. Many of you in the area and in the room this evening, I've seen through the area in the last 6 years and keenly aware of the impact of all of the people here. And the fact that this is absolutely an outstanding area, as is exhibited by all the awards and the amazing work that people do selflessly. But with that said, I wanted to offer you some advice and some background information, which is just how do you become chair of the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber Board? And so I'd like to go through that with you right now, and I promise it's not going to take very long, but it's very, very important in terms of your learning, and that happens to be the industry that I'm in. You may wonder, does it have to do with your first name being Craig and your first, or your last initial, first initial of your last name being B? And the answer to that question is no, although it is a bit ironic. You may also wonder, does it have something to do with your immense and outstanding leadership skills? No. Does it have something to do with the fact that you're an outstanding public speaker? No. Does it have to do with the fact that maybe you were absent from a chamber board meeting? The answer to that question is no, but see, we're getting closer. Does it have to do with the fact that another chamber board member just so happened to be listed on the program as vice chair, who's still sitting here in the audience, by the name of Patrick Gatterman, who said, oh, by the way, I can't do that. Craig, you're up because you're treasurer. That's how it works. Good luck. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened, Gatterman. Knock it off. Exactly what happened. Yeah. And he's all dressed up nice tonight, and you know what I'm saying. I mean, come on. I'm kidding. That's actually what happened. And they did vote right after nominating me for chair for a 2-year term. So that is 100% true. But I am gonna wrap it up. It's hilarious, number one. I would be a big fan of doing that to someone else, so I do give them props for making that happen. But I am super honored to be responsible at least for 24 months as the chair of the chamber. I promise I'll be much more brief than Craig Bernstein. He's quite long-winded. He's the most long-winded Craig I know. And I do, from me to you, sincerely appreciate the work that you all do for and on behalf of the chamber and our community. It is very much appreciated. And again, you're all outstanding, amazing people. Thank you so much. Have a great night.